What's up, y'all? Talon here, and today I'm excited to be sharing a series of ranked battles featuring a top team. This time I'm featuring something created by Kenji Miura to get top 16 at the World Championships in Yokohama. It has some interesting picks. It has a Baxcalibur, which we really haven't seen much of in the metagame at all. Zapdos, another pretty fringe pick. An Urshifu with a really interesting set of Surging Strikes, Swords Dance, Focus Sash, and a Choice Scarf Gholdengo, as well as a Magma Storm Heatran. So lots of really interesting takes on kind of meta options, and I'm excited to be going into the details of that. If you're interested in using the team for yourself, the rental code is in the top right of the screen if you want to use it in game, as well as the PokePaste in the description below. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the videos, the teams, please subscribe and leave a like on the video. It helps out a ton, and let's get into details of the team now. Starting off, we have a Baxcalibur with an Assault Vest. Along with its main stab moves, we usually see Icicle Crash, Glaive Rush, and Ice Shard. But lastly, which I think really differentiates this Baxcalibur and makes it a really strong anti-meta option, is the Tera Blast for Tera Fairy. So Iron Hands is really strong in the metagame, as well as Urshifu, so having an option to hit Tera Fairy into both of those while also removing its weakness to the fighting type attacks and also letting it basically snipe Chien-Pao, going for Sacred Sword and just knocking it into Ice Shard range is just really incredible. It's definitely a very intuitive Tera type to use offensively and defensively. Next we have a Zapdos, which is running Rocky Helmet plus Static, so if you're being hit by an Urshifu, you're really pretty happy a lot of the time. They'll typically get paralyzed and take 50% of your HP. If you're roost off that turn, you're even happier, so it's definitely there to be switching in on Surging Strikes and really dealing a ton of damage and then hopefully roosting up later in the battle. It also has Volt Switch, just generally nice to be pivoting in and out. You have pretty good typing on the team defensively. You have that Fire, Water, Grass core, along with a Dragon and Steel types. There's good synergy there. Hurricane is basically to hit Amoonguss or Urshifus. If for some reason you don't think Volt Switch is going to knock out the Water Urshifu, you can go for Hurricane on bulky ones and take that knockout right away, and then Detect as just a general protect option. But I think it's really good to be consistently roosting on the Zapdos when you expect damage to be coming in. Just be a nuisance and force your opponent to have to double target into it, and just basically allow for the rest of the team to sweep while your pesky Zapdos is just chipping away. Urshifu is a Swords Dance Focus Sash set. I think we saw a little bit of Safety Goggle Swords Dance, but not a lot of Focus Sash. This is really smart. It kind of reminds me of Mega Rayquaza in 2016, so having the Focus Sash almost guarantees you get a Swords Dance up, especially when people aren't expecting it in Open Team Sheet, and then you can get consistently strong priority with Aqua Jet or your main attack and Surging Strikes. So people can't really rely on Intimidate to handle Urshifu in Team Preview, so in a best of one environment, the Swords Dance Surging Strike can really overpower you as you just don't have a lot of counterplay to it. Intimidating at once, it's still at +1, but most of the time your opponents won't even bother bringing Intimidate, so I think that's a really cool option for their Urshifu. The Gholdengo is very cool. It's a Choice Scarf Tera Steel set, so if a Tera Fairy Flutter Mane is in your face, you basically have the opportunity to just go for Tera Steel, make it rain, and any turn it's on the field, you just wipe it out. You also have Focus Blast, which I feel like that's mainly for Heatran. If you're in a tricky situation, you go for Focus Blast and do a lot more damage than Shadow Ball would. And lastly is Trick, which against Trick Room teams can be very cool. You just trick them, and if they go for Trick Room on that turn, they're forced to go for it the next turn, so you're basically forcing a switch, which can give you a lot of opportunity to go on the offensive and waste their Trick Room turns. It's also really effective against something trying to set up against you, so for example, Hisuian Gudra, if you trick and on the turn they shelter or something like that, or locked into Body Press, suddenly if you haven't Terra'd on Gholdengo, it's always going to win that 1v1, and I think it's just a really cool Gholdengo that lets the otherwise pretty slow team, you don't have Tailwind on Zapdos, lets it function well and trade pretty well against opponents in the late game. Lastly is this bulky Heatran set with Magma Storm and Leftovers, so really just trying to take advantage of the really high base power of Magma Storm. It can one-hit KO some Rillaboom after the Magma Storm chip, even if they're Assault Vest, I believe. It depends on how well they're trained in Special Defense on the Assault Vest set, but yeah, that's really solid damage. Of course, it is the Tera Grass Tera Blast, so although Urshifu is generally your knee-jerk answer to Heatran, having the preserving your Tera lets you beat that 1v1 as well. One thing I don't particularly like about the team, especially in best of one, is the low accuracy moves. So Hurricane, of course, can confuse your opponents. Magma Storm gets a lot of residual damage and can trap opponents, which can put you in some cool situations, but in a best of 3, when you're able to hit those moves multiple times, the odds will generally even out in your favor. But in a best of 1 where you can miss several moves in one battle and it's just basically you have a useless Pokemon, I think that can be really demoralizing. There's definitely some battles in my practice games where I think I went for 6 Hurricanes. I had my Zapdos on the field and I hit 2. So just well below the odds. And yeah, instances like that on a lesser scale, just missing a game-winning Magma Storm or missing 2 is pretty frustrating, but definitely when you're hitting those moves, it's really nice. So definitely a trade-off that Kenji went for in best of 3, but just be wary of that in best of 1. You are a little reliant on hitting your low accuracy moves in some matchups. Overall, this is a very cool team, and I'm excited to show you what Baxcalibur has to offer. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel as well as leave a like, and let's get into the battles. Okay, for our next one, we have a Tailwind team with Tornadus, Flutter Mane, Landorus, T, Urshifu, Gholdengo, and Iron Hands. On a team like this, I'm actually kind of suspecting it to be a maybe Choice Band, but ultimately a Tera Dark Urshifu, which is, I only have 1 resistance in Urshifu for that, so that's definitely a scary option. We could make use of Focus Sash here. I think we probably will try to do that. Swords Dance isn't that good though. Yeah, they have a cool team. Definitely going to be a challenge to crack through. Torn Landorus seems pretty solid for them. I think Zapdos is a pretty non-committal lead, as is Urshifu with Focus Sash in play. And maybe Baxcalibur could be my ticket against the Urshifu, as well as the Lando. Yeah, that actually sounds pretty solid against most of their team. And then I think I might need a Mungus. Ooh, I super cannot beat their Gholdengo without Heatran. Yeah, that's a problem. That is for sure a problem. I definitely need Heatran to be able to handle their Gholdengo, which is likely to come. Just because it gets incredible damage against Make It Rain's actually pretty bad against this team. Being resisted by Urshifu, halfway, it takes so much still. Zapdos, Heatran, and Gholdengo of my own, but really it locking the Shadow Ball and pressuring the Baxcalibur could be an issue, so I went with Heatran just to cover my bases a little better. And it is Tornadus and Urshifu Surging Strikes. Okay, so I didn't prepare for that correctly, and Amoonguss would have been a lot better. So that's unfortunate, but we move. They are pretty weak to my Zap though. For sure, very, very weak. I could Volt Switch you, Protect. Seems pretty good. Although Rain Dance is going to be bad if they go for it. Rain Dance Surge is going to do a ton of damage. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So because we're not Citrus, this is going to knock us out. 66 damage, was that? Oh. Yeah, it's a roll. Gonna be a roll here. It is a knockout. That's super unfortunate. Ooh, static. That's super fortunate. Okay. So yeah, if we get that Volt Switch off, I think we probably nearly win the game. But we do get the static prop, which is at least something out of that. How fast is our Ursh? 163. Okay. Pretty sure that wasn't Choice Banded. That would have been easy knockout. Yeah, it's just... That was definitely a very tight roll, but unfortunately for them, they got it. Surging Strikes doesn't feel like it's going to knock them out, honestly. I might just have to go for it, though. Yeah, I feel like I just have to go for it. In Rain, maybe it does, but I doubt it. Yeah, I can't afford to Tera against Gholdengo, basically. So I feel like I have to hope that they get... Oh, you know what? Okay, yeah, they do go for Tailwind, so... I thought maybe if they don't go for Tailwind, if they go for Bleak Wind that turn, maybe Glaive Rush is more correct. Oh, they are Jolly Urshifu or Choice Scarf, so... Yeah, they're Choice Scarf. Very cool. So... This way we should get them in Aqua Jet range, which is fine, and then we Icicle Crash knock out Torn. So all things considered, the turn 1 didn't go that badly. Is that Aqua Jet range? Yeah, it should be. It's going to be very close to even getting knockout all on its own. Yep. And if we hit this, we're in good shape. If we don't, well, tough luck. Icicle Crash gives us one, and that's a clean knockout into Torn. Sometimes they can be EV'd to live Chen Pao, but yeah, Baxcalibur. Well, I wonder which is stronger, Chen Pao or Baxcalibur. I think Chen Pao because of Sword of Ruin, but thankfully we just take that knockout. They're not too bulky. But really smart Rain Dance on that first turn. I didn't really have anything to cover it. Like I could have switched to my backs, but that doesn't seem very good. Since backs can clear out a lot of their team, and we're threatening priority onto either Eisenhand. Okay, that's cute. Eisenhand it is. So, who is your last? I mean, Drain Punch is threatening. If it's Lando, I beat it with Ice Shard regardless, so I think I just go for Ice Shard, Aqua Jet into the Urshifu, cover a Drain Punch into that slot, and with this Tera I should be fine into everything except for maybe a potentially Landorus, but even then I might be fine. If they're Salt Vest, I'd probably be fine with Icicle Crash. Yeah, there's the Fake Out. Doesn't knock out critically, so we're gonna keep our Urshifu. I was actually more worried about them not Fake Outing that turn, because maybe if they knock out Urshifu, then I can't switch around my Baxcalibur. Although they have not revealed their Tera yet. Ooh, that could be relevant for sure. Could be super relevant. They do have Tailwind up. Let's be conscious of that. How many turns though? 2 turns of Tailwind. Eek, okay. So, they have not yet Tera'd. They might just double target my backs here, which would be an issue. Wild Charge, Stomp, probably. So I'm switching here. I think if they don't get 2 knockouts here, then I'll have double Protect to stall out Tailwind. And we know they're not Choice Scarf Landorus, they're probably Assault Vest, so I'm kind of counting on Tera flying here. Goodness, okay, good play. Yeah, they stomped my Urshifu when I could have detected, and Heavy Slam probably doesn't knock out Baxcalibur. Yeah, no, Baxcalibur is a heavy boy himself. Cool, yeah, so I think we kind of got lucky that turn in terms of them misplaying. Like, they should have Tera'd if they had it, although I can just Ice Shard them next turn, but yeah, we stall out their Tailwind, and now we should win most of the time. They revealed themselves to be faster on the Iron Hand, so we do have a free Glaive Rush. We'll go Tera Blast. I feel like Detect's really obvious. I'm gonna Swords Dance. Like, I think they again don't Tera, by the way. Am I forgetting that they Tera'd? They Wild Charged the back, so definitely glad that I went for that. If they had crit, maybe they win. I think that was pretty close to a knockout. But yeah, Tera Blast gonna just chip them into range of like Aqua Jet Ice Shard or something. So that Baxcalibur really just coming in clutch here, doing just enough damage that we need, having really favorable typing into the metagame overall, and yeah, because they couldn't close combat us, we were able to take it pretty convincingly, I think. So we kind of got owned on the first battle, or in the first turn, but because we got the static proc, which is pretty close to favorable, I think, rolling basically a 70% chance to not get, or to not get parried yet 3 turns in a row, or 3 hits in a row, yields like, I feel like favorable static for us. I don't remember, honestly. Right, 0.7 times 0.7 is 0.49 chance to not get burned, times another 0.7 is suddenly not in your favor. And because of that, that forced them to have to go to Tailwind to basically be able to outspeed us, and because of that, we were able to minimize the gains they could get that turn. And as we saw in the back, they couldn't take a Surging Strike very well into that slot, or an Icicle Crash into either. So yep, Tera Bax, Tera Fairy, Tera Blast winning the game for us. It's a really good Tera type, just objectively, because like, if something does go for a close combat, if an Urshifu does go for that, if an Iron Hands goes for Drain Punch, you can just answer right back and surprise them with the Tera Fairy. Minimize the damage coming out to you. So really, really strong Tera. I'm really liking the Tera Bax and the Zapdos combo. Okay, against Matt. I think they're about 130 something, maybe 140. So high ranked, and they have Flutter Mane, Urshifu, Rillaboom, Heatran, Zapdos, and Urshifu. This honestly looks like an old school Dynamax, or Series 10, I think it was, when there was no Dynamax. Teams often looked like a lot like this. Maybe it was Series 11. But Baxcalibur is kind of the coverage guy against their team. If they don't have Flash Cannon Heatran, they really struggle against it. So Baxcalibur is definitely coming this match. They have no Intimidate. So the goal is definitely going to be to handle their Grimmsnarl, I think, the best we can. Yeah, we're just going to try and go Tera Fairy, I think, on Bax. So Heatran is a good lead for them. I think I just have to handle their Heatran to beat... Yeah, I think I want to force out Bax early. I'm going to go Amoonguss plus Heatran. It kind of looks weird, but trust me. Rillaboom also, and then... maybe my own Urshifu's good as well. Oh, I should just force their... Yeah, I'm being silly. It's super easy to just do that. Yeah, Amoonguss in the back defensively, and... Heatran or Goldie. I'm going to go Goldie. Just because Heatran's kind of a Terra Hog against their team, whereas Goldie can get some surprises with Choice Scarf, Shadow Ball, or Make It Rain, particularly into the Flutter Mane. Like, a priority plus Make It Rain should knock them out. So that's what I'm going for. And I'm just leading the Urshifu. I was like, wait, can I just pressure the Heatran to switch or Terra with Surging Strikes? And yeah, if I can do that, I'll be in really nice shape. Zapdos Heatran is the lead, so that's kind of what we were hoping for on some level. Because now we have a pretty nice Icicle Crash. If we want to get really aggressive, we can... Yeah, Surging Strikes into Heatran's really nice, especially because they probably... Yeah, I like that a lot. So we're playing it really simple here. We probably have a Swords Dance on the field if they protect... I mean, they're not protecting if they switch plus attack on Zapdos, but I think this kind of forces a Terra out from them, so I'm super fine with it. And we're doing a ton of damage to Urshifu. Yep, they are tearing. Fair enough. I doubt our Baxcalibur has enough speed to knock out their Zapdos, or to move before it and flinch it, rather. Yep, Tera Fairy. That's definitely valid. I wonder if they have Tera Fairy, Tera Blast. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, we get the Surging Strikes off. Very glad we did not go for a Swords Dance there, because they just attack our Urshifu Aqua Jet next turn if we do that. So getting not a lot, but at least something out of the turn, and they go for Tailwind. That's cool. Very neat, very neat. Yeah, Icicle Crash hits and brings it... Wow, we wouldn't have even knocked them out. Interesting. I think we obviously just have to preserve our Urshifu very well. Hurricane could come out into that slot. I don't think Zapdos is a huge threat. Heatran is not really a threat at all. They're now weak to Choice Scarf, Make It Rain. So I think, yeah, we're going to Tera, we're going to go after the Urshifu. And potentially go up this turn a little bit. So yeah, they went for their early Tera to survive the turn. Turns out they wouldn't have needed it. They would have been able to roost back up to pretty normal HP if I don't Ice Shard. But they could go for Surging Strikes plus a double up into Bax here. That'd be really smart to try and cover for... Okay, they Detect. Also fair enough. But yeah, there's Thunderbolt into the Amoonguss slot. Kind of what we were expecting, and Terra Blast. Cool. Now, I definitely don't want to just give up my... I think I'm going to go for Ice Skull Crash into you and Spore into you, because the switch is reasonably likely. Well, can they can Detect Zapdos probably. No, it's probably Tailwind, Roost. Okay, you're probably in range of Make It Rain, so I think Terra Blast is still pretty safe into you, as is Spore. Sorry, I'm kind of just entering bad commentary mode. I'm just thinking to myself, but yeah, I'm going for Terra Blast because I think Heatran's coming in. If they're not safety goggles, I think Hurricane probably doesn't knock out Amoonguss. Hurricane knocked out Amoonguss, so my play is very bad. Uh-oh. Big uh-oh. Okay, so if I Ice Crash the Zapdos there, I threaten Ice Shard Surging Strikes next turn, so this was definitely wrong. Ah, that's so annoying. Okay. Really, Hurricane. I wouldn't have expected that to knock out Amoonguss. I would have expected Zapdos to be a little bulkier, or this Amoonguss to be a little tankier, honestly, but it is what it is. We don't get there. One more turn of Tailwind. Is Heat Wave so likely here, or Flash Cannon? I really feel like I should preserve Gholdengo, though. I really do. So what I'm gonna do here is Protect or Detect and Ice Skull Crash. They're playing well though. Definitely see why they're high ranking. It is Thunderbolt, so smart play. But even with Flash Cannon, yeah, unless his Choice Specs or Life Orb, it shouldn't knock out. Yep. So that's good, and we should be knocking them in range of Ice Shard range. So that's good. Now we have a very safe Surging Strikes plus It's kind of safe here, but also not so safe. Because Rillaboom's probably coming in. I think I'm going to Ice Shard you and Swords Dance, maybe? No, definitely not that. I don't think there's any reason to risk the Heatran not switching, which is what ends up happening, because assuming they have Rillaboom or Urshifu in the back, they probably just don't switch that in and preserve their Heatran, or like let Heatran go down rather than taking a close combat. Because neither of them can afford to take that. Like, they don't know that I have no close combat, which is my better play in that situation over Surging Strikes. So we still have our Focus Sash intact. So Swords Dance was kind of calling my name like a siren, but we don't listen to the siren song. We just play it safe and end up taking a double knockout that turn. So kind of claw our way back in after a pretty abysmal turn the previous one, and that is Flutter Mane. So... Alright, what do we do? I think we just Ice Shard the Flutter, put that in range, and then Detect. Like, they can attack into my Urshifu with close combat or something, but then I think Gholdengo closes it out with Shadow Ball. If they're not Pixie Plate, I wonder if Dazzling Gleam knocks out here. If they're not Pixie Plate, I kind of doubt it. If they're not Pixie Plate, it definitely doesn't. If they're Choice Specs, it probably does. I'm just suspect on the roll for the other one. It is Aqua Jet. Okay, fair enough. Oh, 1 HP. Very, very nice. So they don't break my Focus Sash critically. Ooh! Dang. Crazy damage off Ice Shard. So we have the Focus Sash preserved. I feel very good about that. Now they have to be pretty much focus or Choice Scarf on Flutter Mane because there's no booster speed. So I think we just Shadow Ball. Make It Rain's probably stronger. I think we Make It Rain, cover them both. Just like, my fear is somehow their Flutter Mane is good here. Like maybe it's Choice Scarf or something. No, okay, cool. So the worry was, okay, if I Shadow Ball, somehow they have Protect on Flutter Mane, and they're just like Pixie Plate or something, and I Surging Strikes the Flutter Mane as well. Maybe I still lose to their Urshifu if they somehow are able to knock out my Gholdengo. But if I get Make It Rain off, even though I may lose a 1v1 to their Urshifu, I probably don't. Like, very, very unlikely if I get the Make It Rain damage off into it in addition to knocking out Flutter that turn. So really their only way to win that was Choice Scarf Flutter Mane. And even then, as we see, I would have had them in range of... we'll see if it's in range of an Aqua Jet, just for funsies. But yeah, definitely Baxcalibur is easily the MVP of this team. Yeah. There's Zapdos. Although it hit its Hurricane and made our Amoonguss virtually useless, the Baxcalibur just staying on the field for so long, offering such potent damage, is really, really impressive. Definitely could see this Pokemon taking off in the rest of Regulation D, maybe at Pittsburgh. I know the Nails and crew had a really cool Klefki plus Baxcalibur team with Gastrodon as well, just to make Surging Strikes on Urshifu even less of an issue. So just Tera Fairy plus Gastrodon, suddenly it's pretty unhittable. Or Tera Fairy plus Gastrodon, excuse me. But yeah, our just plain Tera Fairy Baxcalibur in our case was enough to do it against a pretty high ranked opponent. Okay, against Dragon with a really defensive team, so it's Rillaboom. Sorry, working from the top. Grimmsnarl, Volcarona, Cresselia, Hisuian Gudra, Urshifu, and Rillaboom. So, Scarf's annoying, but Swords Dance on Urshifu could be really nice. I might trick their Gudra at some point. That feels like a really solid win condition. Magma Storm is very nice in that I can trap a lot of their Pokemon. I might go for that. Question is do I want to Tera my Heatran? Or my Bax? I think Tera Heatran's pretty good. Gholdengo has to come in my opinion, and Volcarona could get walled out pretty well. I like Amoonguss just defensively. I think having the option to heal against these type of teams and also put things to sleep gives you a big opportunity to win games. So if I can get a Swords Dance up next to Amoonguss, like, yeesh. If they don't have Rillaboom on the field, they're kind of getting cooked. But I should probably maybe lean against the Urshifu, given they probably have a Rocky Helmet somewhere. They have the Gudra, they have the Volcarona, which is definitely going to max out of it. But I can pretty safely Swords Dance in front of the Grimmsnarl lead, which is why I went for it. And the Focus Sash could catch them off guard as well. Grim Rillaboom, very smart from them. But I don't think I need too much to get cooking here. I'm going to go right for it. If they do go for Stomp, that's fine. I get a Swords Dance up and a Magma Storm. If they don't, like if they attack, like Fake Out or on something, then that's very nice for me. But I feel like Fake Out into Heatran's pretty safe, or a Tera on their Rillaboom. Like Light Screen Fake Out into Urshifu could be good, but they're kind of in a really passive position, so if either of my move goes off here, I'm very happy. And if both of them go off, I'm ecstatic. Light Screen, so no Fake Out. And we're getting a big Swords Dance off, so Grimmsnarl is now mincemeat in front of us. And, oh, it is fast. That's... Oh, we do live. We do not hit, though. Okay, fair enough. That's definitely troublesome, but we're healing a lot of HP. So they can get Reflect up if they want it. I think I'm just going to Surge the Rilla. Ooh. They switch into a Rocky Helmet thing. That could be annoying. I think Protect's pretty obvious here, so I'm going to go for another Magma Storm. Yeah. If I'd hit that, though, I'd be so far up. But if I have Heat Wave and I hit, I probably knock out with a Surging Strike, so that's kind of the trade-off. You miss out on big hits, but the hits you do end up connecting are crazy. No switches, no Teras. And we're going to take out their Grim, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, very easily. That's the power of the Swords Dance. Woo! Cooking. Cooking. Okay. The concern now is definitely their Urshifu in the back, though. Let's see what you got. It's going to be a Wood Hammer. So if we hit the Magma Storm, we knock out the Rillaboom, and we're up. Although with two very low Pokemon, we're still up. And with Trick, I kind of like that. Nice, we hit. Very cool. So we don't knock out, but very, very close. They're trapped in the swirling magma, and they're probably... Oh, you know what's cool? I'm pretty sure they should be in range of Aqua Jet now, would be my guess. And we have not Terra'd, so plenty of opportunity for us here. Magma Storm does less chip than I expected, actually. So they do kind of have a fairly safe Urshifu bring here. I want to preserve one of these Pokemon so that I can switch around my Gholdengo a bit more freely. The question is who? They're taking a while to think. If it's Goodra, then we absolutely need the Gholdengo. And if it's not, like if it's Volcarona, that's totally fine. They can't really beat Heatran. And we just knock out their Rillaboom this turn. Goodra, that's totally fine. So, with that in mind, I think we just safely Surging Strikes the Rillaboom. And probably... They Muddy Water, could that be bad? Yeah, pretty bad. Yeah, I don't want them to be Assault Vest or something goofy. So I'm going to take out my Heatran here, even though we're getting beautiful recovery with Grassy Terrain plus Leftovers. I think just the Pokemon existing is better than it existing at higher HP. The option to switch is just so important. And it's really cool that the Magma Storm actually trapped the Rillaboom in here so that it has to take this Surging Strike, and that's guaranteeing a knockout. So there's a Tera from them. We do have to be conscious of the screens that went up, though. What are they at? Light Screen and Reflect. Okay, that is Tera Fairy, so very good if we can trick. If we can get our Gholdengo going. We do have to be careful. Sometimes those are Sap Sipper. Or sometimes they'll pretty much always be the Shell Armor on the Tera Fairy, and sometimes they'll be Sap Sipper on Tera Water, so ooh, that's not what you wanted, buddy. But now we have Rage Powder Surging Strikes into the partner, and yeah, the Swords Dance. Oh, okay. Rocky Helmet could be an issue, actually. That definitely could be a problem. If they're Rocky Helmet, though. Can't do much about it. I think I'll just Spore the Goodra. Getting damage onto Cresselia is really important because Lunar Blessing is just Like, leftovers Gudra in grassy terrain is bad enough. If they're taking 25%, if they're healing 25 every turn, that's a big issue. So and even a single Surging Strikes is valuable here, although Aqua Jet, if I know it's Rocky Helmet, is probably a little more optimal. I think I'm in 1 Rocky Helmet chip range, but in case they're not, very nice. Yeah, then Surging Strikes is way better because we're 2 at KOing it. We're putting it in Shadow Ball range. And that's way more valuable than the minuscule chip we would have gotten more off of the Aqua Jet if it was Rocky Helmet. So yep, they finally take Urshifu, but the damage was done. There's Shelter. We'll see if you're Sap Sipper or not. Oh, okay. Yeah. This feels like it's going to be pretty clean then. Putting that asleep, we just Shadow Balled at Cresselia. Maybe? No, I think we just Trick. If they're Assault Vest... No, yeah, we'll just Shadow Ball Pollen Puff Cresselia, I feel like. Gets us there. But it might demoralize them more to Trick this turn. But if they're Ally Switch, then that could be an issue. Yeah, no reason to mess around. We'll switch in Heatran for leftovers plus grassy terrain and go after the Cresselia with Shadow Ball. Like, Heavy Slam, Iron Defense, Body Press, or Shelter is usually the set for the Gudra, so they can't touch Gholdengo ever. And Shadow Ball takes the knockout. At this point, we just switch out, go for Magma Storm, and close it out. Stall out screens best we can. Eventually we'll get a Trick off, but with Amoonguss on the field, we might not even have to. So we take the final turn of grass, and yeah, we just switch. This is all more or less a formality, and we go for Terra Grass, Magma Storm, I think. Because, like, if they wake up and body press us, we don't want it to knock out, and Magma Storm damage is going to be non-trivial. Yep, I'm kind of just playing out the formality. Here comes the Magma Storm, and do we hit? We do, very nice. So, Gudra extremely bulky on the special side, but that consistent chip damage is going to be super valuable. Because they have no way outside of maybe Life Dew to consistently heal, so we're pretty much just playing them to stall. They have no reason to be playing this out. Like, I just switch out my Gholdengo and then I take it from there. Not even a Rock Slide or something silly like that to give them the chance. So, in the interest of expediting the game, I will switch out my Gholdengo in case they have, I don't know, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, and that would crit my Pokemon. I guess then I want Rage Powder on the field. But now we just either Trick or Make It Rain, whatever feels funnier in the moment. I guess if Light Screen wears out, then Make It Rain's a little better. Oh, Magma Storm. Yeah, we should have switched out the Amoonguss, I guess, to keep Magma Storm on the field. But like I said, this game's a foregone conclusion. So we're going to go Rage Powder, Trick, I guess. I don't know. At this point, we're just trying to play to demoralize them, truthfully, to speed this up. Because I don't think we can lock them out in 3 hits or 2 hits. Because Light Screen is up. But if they forfeit in 2 hits, then we've got them. Oh, he's zooming. I got leftovers. They do wake up. And it's a Heavy Slam into Amoonguss. Very nice. Big crit. Very relevant. Okay, Light Screen wears off, and yeah. GG, my friend. You're now locked into Heavy Slam, and Gholdengo is heavy enough for that not to matter. Alright, made it in 2 turns. Yeah, it had some presence at the World Championship, but for reasons like this, I feel like Goodra isn't that strong of a Pokemon in the metagame. It has to have a really well-constructed team, and you have to make a lot of really good defensive positional reads against your opponent to make it work. Otherwise, you kind of just have the partners get knocked out earlier in the game while you're trying to set up for the later game Goodra, and it's not one of those Pokemon like a Xerneas or a Dondozo that can just solo a game on its own most of the time. Okay, so last one of the day, we have a Tail Room team with Ursaluna, Cresselia, Urshifu, Tornadus, Flutter Mane, and Chi-Yu. So, no speed control of our own to speak of. So, I think this is one battle where Focus Sash Urshifu could be really good. Swords Dance, Focus Sash, rather. AV could be solid on lead, although I am going to take a lot of damage to take advantage of it. Heatran could also be really good, I think. I like Gholdengo Urshifu, honestly. I think that's good. I like Amoonguss in the back. And Heatran as well. I don't plan to max anything but my Gholdengo maybe, so I could go for Terra Grass on Heatran and go from there. Ooh. Okay, so it is Tornadus plus the Dark Urshifu. So that's super scary, of course. I do have a Tera. I could get queued on my Tera, but if they close combat, it's still pretty scary. Are they going to do that, though? Probably not. Let's get cute with it. Let's go right for Terra Steel. They could close combat, but if they do, they got me. Well played. What are you going to do? Because Terra Steel Gholdengo isn't that common. A lot of the time they're Terra Water. They go for Sunny Day, which is a choice. Oh, weakening my Urshifu. Fair enough. Yeah, but they didn't go for Tailwind, so they might just fold to this. Ooh, they get close on both. So what's it going to be, big dog? They are slower on their Urshifu, so I threaten Aqua Jet next turn. And it is a Wicked Blow. And it's not a knockout, baby. Alright. So now we have a pretty safe Aqua Jet here, and on some level we could make it rain and just take the knockout. I'm not sure if we want to. I think we probably do. Just take the guaranteed double KO. Ooh, it's not guaranteed because Tailwind, yeah, Sucker Punch. Whoops. So we did have the switch. I forgot about the Tornadus being faster. Getting a little late in the day in the session, so making some pretty easy mistakes. I knew, I was like, oh, they'll just go for Tailwind and Sucker Punch me, but given they have to basically scrap their Urshifu for that, and Tornadus is now just bait for an attack, I'm totally fine. And I just go into Heatran and threaten out whatever's in the back. Yep, there's Flutter. Totally fine with that. We'll see what boost they get, basically. But I think the Focus Sash definitely serves to our advantage. So, free Aqua Jet into the Torn, as far as I'm aware. Yep, they could maybe switch in Cresselia, which would be a little annoying, but eh. And we have a really strong Magma Storm on the field. Yeah, them setting up Sun definitely made sense to weaken my Urshifu, but in the instance where I'm a faster Gholdengo or I survived that turn, that was definitely sketchy for them. So, by Torn, I'm just going for Swords Dances to take out Sashes, so maybe not the best use of it, but I at least am mitigating the threat of the... big damage. Mitigating the effectiveness of the Sunny Day. Hahaha, that's a lot of damage. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of really inaccurate battle moves on this team. The Hurricane and the Magma Storm, Icicle Crash as well, but when you're hitting them, man, the power is not to be messed with. And now Flutter Mane is just going to fold in a turn to the Magma Storm or get very close to it. And given I have Focus Sash on the Heatran or the Urshifu, it's really, really unlikely for them to stay to come back. Yep, I'll just go for Aqua Jet here. I guess I could lose if they like get a Heat Wave burn in Sun, so I'll stall out a couple turns, get some leftovers to be able to live a Dark Pulse potentially. I am a -1 defense, special defense, so I probably never do. But outside of Flutter Mane suddenly learning Feint, I don't really see this being an issue as a play. Yep, there's the Dark Pulse though. And now it's a very, very safe Aqua Jet. Plus Earth Power. Bonk. Yep. They were just in the range of Magma Storm, so no other Heatran, even with Flash Cannon, would have been able to knock out the Flutter Mane there if they're leftovers. Like maybe for Life Orb or Specs we can take that, but nope. And now we just go for the Focus Sash. Reveal that we had that all along. We're playing cautious for no reason. Activate our Flash Fire, and that's just insult to injury. Yeah, you do hate to see it. So yeah, unfortunate for them. But yeah, with the Focus Sash, the Swords Dance really didn't end up being valuable, but just the Choice Scarf Gholdengo, when they really got greedy not going for Tailwind, but given they didn't knock out anyways, I always get that Make It Rain off, and that damage was just really good, especially with Urshifu being able to pressure Aqua Jet KOs on the rest of the team. I don't think, like, even with Sun Up, the Swords Dance made Chi-Yu pretty suspect if he'd be able to live, so yeah, definitely got the full value out of that. I think maybe it could have been smart to go for a Terra Dark on the Urshifu. They might have been able to knock out my Gholdengo in that instance if they went for Tailwind. And then if they set up Sunny Day after that, I'm kind of caught in a weird spot with my Urshifu being set up but not able to do as much damage as I'd like, so that would have been a pretty favorable trade for them. So those were our battles with Kenji Miura's top 16 at the World Championship Baxcalibur team. It's a really cool team. I think it has really incredibly high peaks, but when you're missing your Hurricanes, your Magma Storms, it can have really low lows, but that is really the trade-off with moves like Icicle Crash and the ones I previously mentioned. The secondary effects are incredible. The damage is really solid, but if you miss, you know, that's the trade-off, right? So I think Kenji had a really solid defensive team. Just the Fire Water Grass core, of course, very strong, and the Swords Dance Urshifu as well is a very cool highlight. If you want to access the rental code or the Poke Paste for the team, that is in the description. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and peace, y'all.